mean,
Oh,
I'm
I thought this wig would be a lot more challenging than it actually was because of the different sizes and different kind of spikes that you get in the wig, but it actually was a lot of fun to do. So I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial because it actually is a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys, yes, let's just get into it. I will be rambling a lot because let's just channel some ADHD energy into it. I'm going to try and do this in one go because let's just try and challenge this. I don't care. Okay, so the biggest secret with this wig is a lot of teasing because this wig is quite thin, the wig that I'm using for this tutorial. So using like a coarse, close fiber brush, I tease the fibers all around the wig so it gives a lot of volume to work with. And like I paid a lot of attention to the roots to hide the wefts. The brush that I'm using, I don't actually know how to describe it except that it's just like a lot of like coarse fiber. Like I don't know how, it's like a scrubbing brush, I guess. The bangs and the spikes are going to need the most volume. To tease the fibers, I would say that you would have to back comb. So brushing the brush, running the brush back and forth, essentially knotting and frizzing the fiber, and just making a rat's nest out of the wig. Once most of the volume is there, I would say that the next thing is to separate most of the fiber into sections that you're going to be using for the spikes and the bangs, because you don't want to like run out of space and then say, oh, I've made this giant spike, and then you don't actually have space for the rest of the spikes, or like you say, oh, I don't know where to put the rest of them. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but right here I'm kind of just like making the rat's nest look a little bit more tame. Oh, here I am actually separating the spikes. Yes. So this is the the front bangs, I guess, that you're kind of like separating the front piece, because like normally you start in the front of the wig so that you kind of like, because the front of the wig is normally where everyone looks first, isn't it? So so you're looking at the front of the wig, that I mean, like you start there, and then you kind of like, I normally start in the front of the wig and then I work my way around, or rather I start in the front wig and then like I kind of like do the top bit and then I do the side bit. So I separate there, and then make sure that like I do it with like little little clips first, clips and little elastics, tiny elastics, so that I can just section off the pieces first, and the crocodile clips. So little clips, crocodile clips, and little elastics first, and then yeah, do the little sections with those first. Yes, those things first. Yes. So I do those things first to separate it, and then once I'm happy with that, then I know, okay, this is the right amount for each spike, and then I can move on to the next step. So the next step is going to be trimming down the wig, because as much as a lot of people are afraid of cutting down the fibers because they don't want to cut a wig, it really is important to cut down extra length, because if a wig is too long, then it tends to look bad. So I'm cutting down the extra fibers with, well, not the extra fibers, but the extra length of the fibers with some thinning scissors, because it just makes it look a little bit more natural on the ends. So I just trim it with a downwards motion on the ends. I have a script here and I'm not following it. So I just do some light thinning, because I'm not actually trying to get like too much length out, because it's just a little bit of length that I need to get rid of. For individual spikes, I fluff and tease them again before trimming down the points, and then I hold them temporarily with like a little spritz of hairspray. And then to make sure the hairspray stays solid, then I use my technique of just using a hairdryer to set it down again. So then this doesn't have to be completely solid, but it does help to keep it in place while I'm busy working with it. And then as I get more confident with, yes, I want to keep the spike here, then I add more hairspray and just set it again with the hairdryer. And also I trim down each spike with the scissors as I am more confident with, yes, I want this spike to be this size. And I don't, and I want to just reiterate that it needs to be a smaller spike. It like people often just keep it like the length that the wig is, and it really does need to be shorter. And again, it's just, you really do need to repeat the teasing process, because like you can tease it once, but like the wig does lose that volume and that frizziness, so you just need to keep on teasing the fibers. It takes a lot. You just need to do it again and again. I decided to go for a more natural look with the spikes because, like, I don't know, I wanted to go for a more natural look with the whole wig, actually. I mean, I don't know, it's all up to, like, each person's interpretation, but I decided to go for a more natural look because it's, like, I don't know, I like the look. Okay, so next is moving on to the bangs. It needs a lot of volume because, like I said, the wig is pretty thin. And it's going to need, again, a lot of teasing. I separate a thin layer at the top to lay on top of the teased volume so that it just looks a lot neater. And with his bangs, he has like a little kink at the middle parting, so I tried to like mimic that with the extra volume, and it did take a little bit of an extra try, so don't be afraid to like try again. With the where am I in the script? Ideally I should have actually put some extra wefts in the extra volume. But I actually didn't have the time or the energy to do this, so I didn't. So I actually used a neat layer to lay in the front to hide the tease bit as well, because otherwise like the scruffy bit would have shown through as well. The tease fibers, use hairspray and the hairdryer to like keep the tease fibers like working, doing their job, doing the job of the voluminess. So like the hairspray will like keep them sticking together ish. Yes. It'll keep them staying that way. For the kink in the bangs, I tried using the comb and some hairspray and then the hairdryer to try and like keep it in that shape, and it does work, or it did work. So I hope that you can see what I'm doing. I know that I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. And then I also just did like a lot of careful combing to try and get the the neat layer of hair on top, laying nicely. Looks like I'm destroying it. I hope that I got the clips laying right. I think this might be my second attempt that I'm actually showing here. But yeah, like I said, don't be afraid to redo something if you mess up the first time. Because it does take some attempts to, if you mess up one time, then you can try again, because sometimes it just doesn't work the first time, or you get better in attempt, you get better at a technique, and then you just need to try again, and that's okay to try again. With his bangs, they're actually surprisingly long on the sides, so I tried to straighten them a bit so that they would lie pretty long on the sides of my face. For this second side bang, the quite poofy one, once again there was a lot of volume, and also this top piece that I'm busy fluffing at the moment, the wefts were showing through again on the wig, so then I was just busy fluffing over there as well to hide those wefts again. So it's just, once again, a lot of teasing, a lot of volume, and then doing it layer by layer and making just a mess of the wig so that I could just hide all the wefts, and just also making a lot of volume to work with. And then so I would just recommend as well to also, you can with doing a lot of volume, that you can also spray hairspray and then do the teasing and back combing again, and then it'll also make it easier. So you have a whole lot of methods for teasing and back combing, and then you can also try and spray it upwards, so that it's standing almost up straight, and then you can gradually bend it downwards, because then it'll give you a lot more volume to work with, as you can see in the video, I hope. So that, and then you can just gently brush it downwards so that you have more an upward a slope a slope a slope it's a floof, I guess. And then once again I'm busy doing that, yes, there's the poof at the front. I'm doing the neater bits in the front and on the top so that I can hide the rat's nest. And then as I'm going, the middle gets more and more teasing, just to keep that volume. And then I just try to lay it down in the position that I want as I'm going, and then just gently spraying it as I want it to lie, and then just hair drying it into place, and then just trying to get it into that position, brushing it out, just gently and patiently, just step by step, just don't panic, just slowly, gently get it there. Just look at that, that silhouette. It just has a slope. It's a slope. And then this is just setting it with hairspray and with the hairdryer here. This is okay. So this is with one of the side spikes that also has a little bit of a kink in it as well. So once again, just doing the bending it over my fingers, so that it has that little kink, that little curve on it, and then bending underneath. Bending the underneath bit, and and then putting some volume over it again. So any other spikes and bits you can repeat the same methods. and you can dry any edge over the comb or any other thing. The back spikes and the side spikes, I actually made them look a little bit more natural. Like any of the other spikes, I think I went for a more natural look because the wig is a little bit more thin, but it also just looks nicer in my opinion. But the front, I did want that that nice silhouette because of how his hair does look. For the zigzag, I did just oh, it's going super fast. I did trace it out on some black warbler, and then just cut it out and then clip it on with some bobby pins, and then it was super springy and straight still, so then I just slowly and carefully used a hairdryer and then just formed it onto the little floof in the front, so that it like just at least matched, but it can be removed, so it's not like permanently on there, and it looks pretty good, so I'm very happy with that. Sweet.
Just found out about dudes kissing their homies. You guys are really doing that shit? I hope none of my homies try and kiss me or anything.